In this video, I'll explain how to solve the vector problem that I assigned for my AP Physics students. We're to be considering two vectors. The two vectors are called A, and it has a length of 3 in the x direction and a length of -2 in the j direction. And then vector B, which has a length of -1 in the x direction and a length of -4 in the j direction. So that's the notation for those two vectors. We're supposed to compute A plus B. Well, that's pretty straightforward. You just remember you add the components of the vector. So it's be 3 in the x direction minus 1 in the x direction, which is be 2 in the x hat direction. And then here you take -2 minus 4 is -6 in the j hat direction. So that would be the value of vector A plus B. What about vector A minus vector B? Well, you just subtract the components. So 3 minus -1 would be 4 in the x hat direction, and then -2 minus -4 would be +2 in the j hat direction. So those would be those two vectors. And then finally I ask you to compute the magnitude and direction of this vector A plus B. So vector A plus B has a magnitude given by this. The magnitude is going to be how long this vector is. So what we can do is we can take the x component, square it, the y component, square it, and take the square root. So it's 2 squared plus -6 squared square root. And when we do that, the length is going to be 4 plus 36 square root, or square root of 40. And the square root of 40 is going to be the square root of 4 times the square root of 10, or 2 root 10. So we'll do that. And then the direction of that, well, I guess we could do this in a few different ways. Let me just sketch what vector A plus B looks like. So A plus B is going to be 1, 2 in the x hat direction, and it's going to be -6 in the y hat direction. So let me go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is what this vector A plus B is going to look like. So let's just find the angle with respect to the x-axis. We'll call this theta. And we could do that tangent of theta is the opposite side over the adjacent side. So opposite side of that triangle over the adjacent side of that triangle. And the opposite side is going to have a length of 6. And the adjacent side is going to have a length of 2, so its tangent of theta equals 3, or theta is equal to the arctangent of 3, and that's the angle it makes with respect to the x-axis.